Club football is back in full swing this weekend with games to look forward to across the different leagues. But no league action will take place in England, however, as the FA Cup quarter-finals are set to take centre stage. Manchester City will play Liverpool, Chelsea will be up against Port Vale, Southampton would host Arsenal, while it's going to also be West Ham United versus Leeds United. At Stamford Bridge, however, Enzo Fernández will sit out Chelsea's next two games, including the home game against Port Vale in the FA Cup, after he, quote, crossed the line with comments he made about his future at the club, according to manager Liam Rossinier. After Chelsea's exit from the Champions League last month, Fernandes told ESPN he did not know whether he would remain at Stamford Bridge next season, with other flirtatious remarks towards Real Madrid also recorded during the international break. Rossinier says the midfielder has been drawn for Port Vale and the Premier League fixture against Manchester City on the 12th of April.
Yeah, I spoke with Enzo an hour ago. As a football club, with me as part of that process, we've made a decision. He won't be available for tomorrow's game and he won't be available for Manchester City on next Sunday. I think for Enzo, it's disappointing to speak in that way. What I will say about Enzo is, in terms of him as a character, as a person, I've got no bad words to say about him, but I think a line was crossed in terms of our culture and what we want to build. So we had to make a sanction, and that was a decision we've made.
Rossinier also spoke towards Marc Cucurella's own comments while away with Spain, which questioned the decision of the club's hierarchy to fire Enzo Maresca, as well as Chelsea's recruitment policy. The Chelsea coach says he trusts his club's direction of travel, and players like Cucurella should speak to him openly and honestly for the benefit of the club.
Again, fantastic conversation with Mark yesterday. Half an hour in my office. The disappointing thing for me, what we're trying to create here in my time, I've only been here for coming up to 3 months. I can't speak. I'm enjoying it, even the difficult moments. I want players, I've said to them from day one, if they've got any issue with how we do things, to come and speak to me and speak to the sporting directors. My disappointment in Mark's interview is where it went to. I think he should have spoken to us first about the things that he's feeling. I want players to feel like they can speak openly and honestly for the benefit of the football club. And those conversations we've had with Reece James, that's why Reece has signed a new contract, because he believes in where we're going. And as a football club, we know we need to improve, myself included, and we actually know what we're going to do in the summer to achieve those objectives.
Well, joining me now to have conversations in and around all of this is sports broadcast journalist and media officer of Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, Dorcas Koki. Hello to you, Dorcas Koki. So nice of you to come around today.
Well, thank you for having me, It's good to be here.
Right. To begin with, what is your overview of the recent comments attributed to Enzo Fernández and Marc Cucurella? In the first instance, do you think the players are correct in terms of their ill feelings towards Chelsea's direction of travel post Roman Abramovich?
Well, I think that players should be allowed to have ill feelings towards them, especially when targets aren't met. Now, players are signed to specific clubs because of the promises and things that they want to achieve when they, go to certain clubs, and Chelsea is that kind of club. If you are signing to Chelsea, you are guaranteed trophies at least under Roman Abramovich, but now it's not the case, and players aren't exactly sure about the project currently happening at Chelsea. So if you look at all of that, I think players can be aggrieved, but when you are employed to a club, when you have a contract, a running contract at a club, then I think that there are certain things that you can say, not flirting with other clubs when you have a running contract. I think that's where I feel Enzo Fernández and also Marc Cucurella had it wrong, because you're contracted to Chelsea Football Club and then you are to respect the club whether you like it or not, whether things are going right or wrong. And that's why you have a sporting director, that's why you have a coach to go speak to when things you feel aren't going exactly the way that they should go.
But do you sort of cut them some slack? I mean, these are senior players. Enzo Fernández is a World Cup winner. Marc Cucurella won the Euros with Spain not too long ago as well. These are senior players. These are champions. They want to win. Do you cut them some slack, knowing that at the end of the day, they want what's in the best interest of Chelsea in terms of winning trophies, which also translates to career success for them as players.
Who wants the cup and flags? Not the fans, and definitely not the club. I feel like that's why I said, if you're contracted to a club, don't go out to embarrass the club, because what they have done is embarrassing the club. I think fans have the leeway to go out and chastise the club because they feel they no longer have the winning mentality that they had over the years. They no longer, competing favorably in major titles, not Champions League, not the Premier League, not in any major trophy. But then they did win 2 trophies last season. They won the FIFA Club World Cup and the Conference League, right? But then you look at all of that. For senior players, they should understand better and how to manage the presence, the global presence, the media, so to speak. So I think that Chelsea might have done the right thing, because if senior players go out there and talk about the club the way Enzo Fernández and Cabrera had done, then what do you expect from the other young players in the club?
Let's talk about Liam Rossinier's decision now to suspend Enzo Fernández for 2 games. I mean, from your point of view, has he done right? Or is this a power play that may backfire on Rossinier? Because Chelsea as a football club, historically speaking, have had managers who have always lost the battle with the players when it comes to the power play.
We have been making reference to Chelsea Football Club like it's still under Roman Abramovich, but now it's a different setting altogether. The Blue Coal Consortium has come in and things aren't going the usual way that they expect it to go. So the coming in of Enzo, or rather Liam Rossinio, that is for him the authority that he needs to tell the players, I'm in charge here, you're not in charge. Right? So if it's been happening before that the players had the right over the managers, maybe not now. Now the coach is saying, I might be young, but I'm telling you, I have the authority here. And so you have to live by my rules. So what you have done is wrong, and then you have to be punished. Now, I know the fans will be saying we have important games, which is Manchester City and the likes, important games in the FA Cup and the rest of them. But then this is a message to every player currently at Stamford Bridge, telling them, if you cannot live by my rules, then you leave. And that's what we're seeing at Chelsea currently with Todd Boehly and the consortium.
Right. I suppose that's a fine place to leave it. Thank you very much for joining us to have this conversation, Stockers Skokie.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Right. Interesting thoughts shared there by Dr. Skokie, but let's look at what to expect from elsewhere this weekend, starting in Spain, where Barcelona president Joan Laporta is raging at FIFA for failing to keep the game's biggest clubs in mind after Rafinha was ruled out for 5 weeks during the international break. Rafinha, 29, injured his right hamstring during Brazil's 2-1 friendly loss to France in Massachusetts last week. And as a consequence, he will miss the upcoming Champions League quarterfinal with Atletico Madrid and a potential semi-final against either Arsenal or Sporting or Portugal, and a string of La Liga games as Barca competes with Real Madrid for the league title. Speaking on the developments, Laporta has said, quote, "It's infuriating that one of your best players gets injured in a friendly between France and Brazil. You can't leave the responsibility of playing or not only with the player, because they're professionals who give everything for their country. But FIFA have to come up with a calendar or a plan that has the biggest club competitions in mind. We're playing with our lives at this moment. It's shocking, but it's an age-old discussion now," end of quote. Well, this is the 3rd time this season Rafinha has injured the same hamstring. We would recall he missed 13 games for club and country between September and November, and another 3 in February. But to key La Liga matches coming up in Spain this weekend, Mallorca would be at home to Real Madrid, while Atletico Madrid will entertain Barcelona in La Liga's biggest fixture of the weekend. But in the Bundesliga for key matches, Freiburg will be up against Bayern Munich, Leverkusen will play Wolfsburg, Werder Bremen will play Leipzig. It's going to be VfB Stuttgart versus Borussia Dortmund. In the Serie A, Lazio will play Parma, while league leaders Inter are at home to AS Roma. Juventus and Napoli don't play until Monday, when they take on Genoa and Milan, respectively. And that's a wrap on 360 Today with Onakosi, and you're up to date.